On to the exercises. We're going to use the City of Houston employee data set. For each department and sex, find the number of unique position titles. So department, sex, and we're going to aggregate the position titles. So n unique title, we'll call it that. Do title, and do n unique, so that'll answer this one. Group by the total number of employees and the average salary. Okay, so say num employees. So this time we can pick any one. We could say salary and size, and we're going to do one more, and we're going to say average salary. So mean salary equals salary and mean, and there we go. Make sure there is no multi-level index, so we can say as index equals false. And let's go ahead and align these dots, align these as well. We're going to need some parentheses around here. All right, so that's what I wanted to be returned. Now, you might want to round this column, and if you round all of them, let's say I round all of them to the nearest 1,000, we're going to wipe out this column. I only want the rounding applied to this particular column. So what I'm going to do is you can actually pass in a dictionary and say mean sal is mapped to -3. So that will only affect this last column. All right, moving on. Exercise 2, for each department, race, and sex, find the mean and max salaries. Okay, so we're just going to department. This is our grouping, race and sex. So there are 3 columns in our group, and we're going to aggregate. We want the mean and max salaries. So min sal equals salary min. Let's go right ahead and run that to see how it looks. That looks good. And then max sal equals salary max, like that. All right. There we go. All right, moving on. Execute the following cell to read in the college data set and use it for the remaining exercises. Number 3, which city name appears the most frequently? Do this in 2 different ways. Do it once and with, and once without the group by method. Okay, so let's try to do it with group by. So college, which city name appears the most frequently? We're just going to group by city, and then we'll it doesn't matter what we aggregate here. So we'll just say, we'll call this size as our variable. And you can actually count the aggregating column itself. It looks kind of strange when you do this. And so this is the size, and then I'll just need to sort values. Actually, you know what? I need the most frequent. Let's just do n largest. We can say 1. So we have to give it the column, so we called it size. So New York appears the most. If you want to see the first 5, there you go. All right, so do this without the group by method. Well, that's just, I wanted you to use the value counts. So here we go, and I'll just pass in city over here, and you can see that, there we go, New York shows the same result. All right, number 4, does the city Houston only appear in the state of Texas? All right, so how are we gonna do this? Let's look at our data again. Does the city Houston only appear in the state of Texas? There's actually multiple ways of doing this. All right, so we can query, so we can say the city Houston. Okay, these are all the rows that have a city of Houston. And then we can look at the state over here, and then we can say value counts on this state, like that. All right, so there's Texas. There's actually there's a Houston, Missouri. So it does, so this is not true. So no, it actually does. There's one Houston, Missouri where it does appear. All right, number 5, find the maximum undergraduate population for each state. right, the maximum undergraduate population. We're going to group by state. So that is state abbreviation. And then we're going to aggregate this UGDS column, undergraduate student population. So you say max UGDS, and we're going to aggregate UGDS as the max. So there we go. So it's in order. Right? AK is Alaska. So the highest population of a college in Alaska has 12,865. All right. Number 6, find the largest college from each state. From those colleges, find the difference between the largest and smallest. Okay, we need to find the largest college from each state. From those colleges, find the difference between the largest and smallest. Okay, so that's a little bit tricky to understand. So we just do this independently. Find the largest college from each state. That's what we've just done here. In terms of student population, that's what I really mean to say. And then from here, what I want is I'm going to take the max and min of this. Okay, so of these colleges, right, that do have of the maximum, so all of these, and there are more than just the 50 states. That's why you have some with very low numbers or some territories in here as well. So here's the max, here is the min, and we can just find the difference between them. We could call .diff, and we'll say -1. So here it is. So that is the difference between them. All right, number 7, find the name and population of the largest college per state. Okay, so we want the name and population of the largest college per state. All right, so how are we going to do this? The easiest way is to put the institution name in the index. And so we can do this first. So this is something I didn't talk about in the videos, but it's good to know now. I'll call this just C2 for short. So now when we can do a group by over here. So we're going to group by state abbreviation. And we're going to aggregate. We're going to say max UGDS. So this is going to stay the same. And I'm going to take the max. Let's just do this at first. We're going to do another aggregation over here. We're going to say max college. And we're going to do UGDS again. We're going to use IDX max. So we want the index of the maximum. So for each state, it's going to find the index. This is now the institution name. So this will nicely get us what is this school, right? So it's nice to have the actual maximum population, but we need to know, well, what is that corresponding school? So this is what does it for us. And maybe it's a little bit better to put it in this order right here. All right, great. Number 8, do distance-only schools tend to have more or less student population than non-distance only schools? Okay, so we need to group. So let's go ahead and look at our data. Here is the distance only. So 0 is not a distance only, 1 is distance only. So if we group by distance only, then we aggregate the student population. So we can just say, let's just find the mean UGDS. And so we'll get UGDS and take mean of this. All right, so that's exactly what we wanted to do. All right, so so distance-only schools seem to have a larger population. Maybe there's just more online classes. It's just easier to enroll. So I'm not sure what the reason is, but for non-distance only, this is the mean. All right, number 9, do distance-only schools tend to be more or less religiously affiliated than non-distance only? Okay, so you're thinking, how can I figure this out? Religious affiliation is either a 0 or a 1. Well, you can take the mean of religious affiliation, and whichever one has a higher mean, it's just another, statistic. This will actually give you the fraction of schools that are religiously affiliated, and I need to change this mean religiously affiliation. So it's saying that of the non-distance only, about, you have to multiply by 100 here, about 15% are religiously affiliated. Whereas the distance only 5% are religiously affiliated. So religious affiliation is 3 times more prevalent in the non-distance only. All right, number 10, what state has the lowest percentage of currently operating schools of those that have religious affiliation? Okay, so let's look at so we need to find the state that the currently operating, this is this variable over here, cur-oper, all right, has the lowest percentage of currently operating schools, but of those that have religious affiliation. So we need to filter out all the ones first that have religious affiliation, and then we can group by over here. So group by state abbreviation, and then we'll aggregate the percentage currently operating. So we'll just say, say operating to be a percentage. So we're going to use currently operating, just take the mean of that. Okay, so it says Alaska has 100% of its schools that are currently operating. We're looking for the one that has, this is of those that are religiously affiliated. So we need to, we just do n smallest here. And we actually have to give it the column name because it's not a series, it's a data frame. So we used operating. All right, and so there we go. So Utah is number 1. All right. So it's the lowest percentage of currently operating. And that will help readability. So again, we queried for religious affiliation, we grouped by state abbreviation, and then we aggregated currently operating, taking the mean. So it's saying 40% of the schools in Utah are currently operating. And then just so we could see the ones at the lowest, we did n smallest of that result. All right, number 11, find the top 5 historically black colleges that have the highest undergraduate white percentage. All right, so we're going to query for HBCU equals 1 in the beginning. Right, so that have the highest undergraduate white population. Then we're going to sort values by UGDS white. That's this column over here. And actually, instead of that, let's just do n largest 5, comma, UGDS white, like this. Okay, there we go. So this college, Bluefield State College, so it's 84% white. That is the highest one. And then these are the other ones in that top 5. All right, so that is it for the exercises.